Is the secret to finding the missing Damian Wayne hidden somewhere in Batman's past cases? And if the Dark Knight truly wants to unmask the Memento killer, he'll need to break bread with an old friend. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Batman and Robin issue number 21 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we're once again back in London during Bruce Wayne's early days training in criminology. It's here we see Dr. Blythe, his mentor, leaving the strange factory, wherein he seemingly came face to face with the Memento killer. Bruce tells all of this to Catherine, as well as a new character, Officer Daniels, who everyone acts like he's been here the whole time, even though he clearly hasn't. Whatever Blythe saw when he came face to face with the Memento killer has clearly terrified him and rocked him to his very core, so much to the point that in an attempt to try and protect his yes, that's right, I said 3 apprentices, Daniels has apparently been in this group this whole time too. Blythe tells them that they're all off the Memento case. It's after that he ends up returning home, only to be once again haunted by the mysterious Memento killer, who may or may not be paranormal. Furthermore, it wasn't long after this that Blythe got arrested for Memento's crimes. Though Catherine Lortig never actually believed that her mentor could have done all the horrible things that Scotland Yard said he did, and because of that, she's been working very hard to clear his name all these years later. Now, Batman and Catherine have been working this Memento killer case from multiple different sides, yet they all end up at the same point, the Gotham Opera House, where they're both very certain Memento will strike next. It's also here too that Batman is forced to admit to his old friend that, yeah, I kinda lost my son and sidekick Damian, oops, my bad. Obviously, Detective Catherine had formed a nice little bond with the kid working the case, and because of that, she ends up absolutely blowing up at Bruce, saying that this is all his fault, that he's endangered his son. And you know what? For once, Batman doesn't actually have a snappy comeback or some sort of rebuttal. He just kinda goes, yeah, you know what? This one is honestly on me, dropped the ball on this one. Turns out all my haters were actually right for once. Good for them. Hey, can we put our differences aside and work together if it means unmasking Memento and finding my son, seeing as those things are basically one and the same now? And yeah, naturally, after being so vulnerable and open, Detective Catherine has no choice but to agree to Batman's terms. In fact, given Damian's notes that Batman read in the last issue and a pet theory that Robin shared with Catherine a while ago, they think they might have everything they need to blow this case wide open. Though hey, while we're on the subject of blowing things up, it's at that very moment Memento seemingly takes the stage with a bomb strapped to his body. This particular opera house having played host to a terrible tragedy hundreds of years ago wherein the entire cast and crew was killed in one night. Batman swoops into action to try and save the day. Most of the actors end up running away, but some of the young children in the production are paralyzed with fear, meaning that Batman has to save them. Boy, this series really does love putting children in danger, doesn't it? Thankfully, when the smoke clears, though, no one is actually dead. Now, being the detective he is, Batman manages to clock that everything is wrong about this Memento. Yeah, the costume is correct, top hat and Victorian riding cloak, but all of these things should be much older. Instead, they're brand new, as if taken from a costume department. Now, the would-be ne'er-do-well escapes out the back alley, only to get clotheslined by Detective Catherine. Batman and the detective discover that this person isn't actually Memento at all, but actually one of the missing Arkham true crime vloggers from several issues ago. Yeah, I barely remember that story either. He's completely out of his mind on Gravedigger's Poppy. Though in his mad ramblings, he does end up dropping some rather interesting little nuggets of information as it regards to Memento's plan and where Damian might be being held. Apparently, this is all part of something called the Gotham cycle, confirming what Dr. Blythe had thought many years ago, that Memento has done this sort of crazy reenact horrible crimes from history thing before in different cities, and that once he's done, he'll head back in the shadows and be almost impossible to find again. Furthermore, it's here Detective Catherine reveals that pet theory that Robin was afraid to tell his father. You see, everyone who has seen Memento so far all shares the same account. He speaks in rhymes. Furthermore, Nicodemus Crow, that occultist from Gotham's past who had a death mask made of him, the mask that the Memento killer wears now, well, it seems that before his own death, Nicodemus was said to have summoned a demon that speaks in rhymes. Oh my god, are they actually going this way? Etrigan the demon is involved? Are you freaking serious? Well, I checked the cover for next issue, and yes, they actually are serious about this 100%. Now, you would think that big bomb would be the end of the issue, but you would be wrong. From there, we end up transitioning on over to something completely different. It seems that in his spare time, Batman also takes care of and funds puns. A group of young Gotham pickpockets and street urchins he calls the Gotham Irregulars. In exchange for giving them food and energy drinks, these kids are sure to supply Batman with information that only they could find. Bruce puts them to work on trying to find his son, a young man with dark hair who speaks with a slight accent, someone who, if he didn't want to be found, wouldn't be. And it's after that we end up transitioning to, get this, the secret hidden sub-city within Gotham, basically like old Gotham from the Arkham City video game. This is where Damian is currently being held captive, but get this, he's not alone. It seems that he has a cellmate, or maybe even a captor, depending on how you view these panels, and yes, it is none other than Dr. Atticus Bligh, who apparently did not actually die in that British asylum. He's alive and well and here in Gotham, and it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close. And so that was Batman and Robin issue number 21, everybody. Another chapter in an ongoing series that I don't think I've actually enjoyed since it began, and yet at the same time I am just overly fascinated and cannot let this series go. Every new twist and turn just feels so mishandled and so random. It almost feels like this series is actively being written on the fly and the writer has no idea how any of it's going to actually conclude. To Philip Kennedy Johnson's credit though, Batman does actually feel like less of a jerk here in this issue. He basically does own up to his mistakes, that he was pushing his son away out of a sense of jealousy, and the only way he's going to get him back is if he's willing to make things right with Detective Catherine, yet another friend from his past who he let their relationship die on the vine. Though I really do hope by the time all of this is over, I hope the story does actually tackle the fact that Batman willingly let one of his mentors go to an insane asylum even though he knew full well he wasn't guilty for years, and then also didn't know that he managed to escape and that the body they buried in the ground wasn't actually there anymore. The addition of Etrigan the Demon certainly has me interested though. Maybe they'll finally answer the question once and for all if the Memento killer is truly paranormal in nature or if there's more going on here than meets the eye. Personally, my money is on him being this Officer Daniels because again, he literally shows up out of nowhere and acts like he's been here the whole time even though he clearly hasn't. Overall, I'd give this one a 5 out of 10. It's not a particularly well-constructed story, but it is certainly ambitious, and I know I can't put it down, so the creative team must be doing something right after all. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.